You believe that humans couldn't have evolved like every other species on the planet?
Oh, okay. First thing is, I don't believe every species on the planet evolved anyway. Okay, so I don't believe in this idea that everything came from a common ancestor, from a single cell that accidentally randomly mutated and was harnessed by natural selection and then got new proteins and then became a new organ. I don't believe this. I don't believe that. I think the probability
Why don't you believe that?
Because the probability of it happening is absurd. That's why. So you have to go to such absurd lengths.
So just because of probability?
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting.
The faith you need to believe that a cell can somehow obtain information and then beneficially randomly mutate into a new species in 3.5 billion years to do what it's absurd. It's absolutely bonkers. It's the equivalent, or I'll give you the example of the probability. It's like being asked, did William Shakespeare write William Shakespeare? Or was it a billion monkeys
Hang on a second.
Typewriters over a billion years? Yeah, this is and your answer is, well, even though the probability says it was William Shakespeare, I'm going to roll with the billion monkeys. That's the probabilities you're playing with. And me, it's too absurd. Okay. Then we take a step back.
The problem with that.
One second. I'm still answering the question. All right.
Sorry.
Then we take a step back, and then we have to ask ourselves, where did this single cell come from in a sterile universe? Where did that come from? And then we hear about the magic custard.
That's easy to answer.
Where did it come from?
Well, all the elements on the planet.
Yeah. Where did it come from?
The elements on the planet as it cooled down.
From in a sterile universe?
As the Earth cooled. As the Earth cooled, different chemical processes happened, and the problem with so you're talking about you talk about probability. Yeah? You talk about probability.
You believe in the magic custard. You believe in the magic custard. This primordial. You believe in the magic custard. The primordial soup, where was this carbon compound where the original life came from. This is what you have to believe.
I don't know what that is.
Well, this is the chemical.
That's maybe some pseudo-scientific explanation of something.
No. This is where the cell came from. This primordial soup. This is what it's called. I call it magic custard because this magic custard somehow managed to appear. Yeah.
Do you know what, Hamza? The problem is, like, I would give you more credit if you had studied the arguments, right? If you had studied, if you'd actually gone and studied evolutionary biology and then came out of it saying, do you know what, that doesn't stack up.
All right.
Like if you spent some time.
So you said about studying this topic. Okay. So there's one book here. Return of the God Hypothesis, yeah, and this book, I'll give you some reviews from scientists, yeah. 1 second. Meyer's book is a masterclass. It does irreparable damage to the atheist rhetoric and shows the God hypothesis.
So it's just a pseudo-scientific anti-atheist book. I mean, that's not.
Whoa, relax.
That's not credible, is it?
1 second.
That's not credible, though, Hamza.
Okay, Paul, let me tell you who said that. All right, I'll actually do it this way. It's easier. What I'm going to do, I'm going to read the people who say what they're saying. All right. So this is John C. Walton, PhD, DSc, Fellow of the Royal Society of Edinburgh and Research Professor of Chemistry at the University of St. Andrews. This is what he says. Meyer's book is a masterclass. It does irreparable damage to the atheist rhetoric and shows the God hypothesis offers the best explanation of our finely tuned, information-rich universe. That's what he says. Dr. Robert Cater, a former principal research physicist at the Princeton Plasma Physics Laboratory, says, a comprehensive and lucid argument for theism as the best explanation for the scientific evidence. Stephen Meyer as a true gift.
Okay, let me ask you another question.
Let
me ask you a question. Listen, it doesn't matter. I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to that. Okay, you can quote. Oh, there's the.
Okay. Dr. Michael Denton, former senior research fellow in biochemistry at the University of Otago, the author of Nature's Destiny, says an irrefutable case for God. The logic throughout is compelling and the book almost impossible to put down. A masterpiece. Peter Robinson, Murdoch Distinguished Policy Fellow at the Hoover Institution at Stanford University and former White House speechwriter, says more than 400 pages of straightforward, engrossing prose, close
Are
reasoning.
you trying to give this text
So the point
credibility?
here is this.
Are you trying to give this text credibility?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's
right.
non.
So here's the thing, you see. Right, here's the thing.
You can't just keep muting me. That's just
no,
unfair.
I have to mute you because you're talking while I'm talking. So I do have to mute you. Have some manners. When I finish talking, you can say what you like.
Sentence.
Okay. So you've never heard about this book and you've wrote it off as pseudoscience. Yet scientists are saying the complete opposite to you.
No. You quoted a couple.
Complete opposite.
You quoted a couple.
Oh, okay.
A couple.
And the other book I'm reading at the moment is this one called Darwin's Doubt.
Yeah, they're just anti books, okay? They're just anti books.
Right.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Let
me just ask you a question.
Well, you made a claim. You can ask me a question.
I'm not making a claim. Why do you keep calling it a claim?
To me, wish. No. This is what you exactly said. You said, I wish you'd studied the arguments and studied. This is what these books do.
Have you been to the Natural History Museum?
Right.
Do you know what DNA is?
Paul?
Do you know what DNA is? Do you know what DNA is?
Yes.
Okay. Why do we share 5% DNA with a dog?
No
Explain
idea.
that. No,
Explain
right.
Why we
so there you go.
With a banana. Explain that.
98.6% with an ape.
How much do we share with a banana?
I don't know.
80%. What's your point?
80.
What's your point?
Humans?
Yeah. What's your point?
No, I don't think so. Okay, let me Google that. Humans and bananas share about 40 to 60% of the same DNA. This doesn't mean humans and bananas or vice versa. It means there are similarities.
50%.
Comparing DNA proteins.
50%. All right.
40 to 60%.
50%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's that prove?
That there's a connection.
With bananas?
Yeah. If I then starts talking about fossils, you're going to have some nonsense argument about how fossils don't show this and that.
Well, no. You want to bring fossils to the table? I'll raise you the Cambrian explosion.
Oh, I don't even...
Do you know what that is?
Sorry, the 5% quote was not DNA. It was the genome sequence. It wasn't DNA.
Cambrian explosion.
I see the guy writing in there that I made a mistake. It was actually the genome sequencing.
Do you know what the Cambrian explosion is?
No idea what that is.
Right. So when you bring fossils to the table, I'll bring Cambrian explosion to the table to trumpet you. No problem. See, the Cambrian explosion can't be explained away because it's in the fossil record.
So you think that we came from Adam and Eve. So that means we're all related. Everyone in the universe, everyone in the world is related.
Oh, okay. This is about what you believe.
Is that what you think?
No, this is what you believe, what I believe.
So, no, I'm talking about Adam and Eve.
No, but this is about what you believe, not what I believe.
No, I'm asking you.
I believe that we came from Adam.
So everybody in the world is related?
Yes, potentially.
Well, we can prove that that's not true.
How can you prove that? You just proven that we're connected to bananas. How are you going to prove that we're not connected?
It's not. It's connected. Yeah.
The first thing you have to understand is a basic principle that a belief without proof can be true. Would you agree with that? No. Sorry.
Yeah. Of course.
Of course it can. So a belief without proof.
I mean, you could believe in fairies, for example.
Right. So
and Father Christmas and whatever.
Right. So a belief doesn't need proof to be true. Yeah.
I mean, fine. If you want to live in the world of total ignorance, fine.
No. I'm not living in ignorance.
I mean, it is, and it's really.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm alive. There's so many things in your life, Paul, that you believe are true that you don't need empirical evidence for. Yeah, you don't demand empirical evidence for all these things you believe to be true.
Such as
your father being your father, as an example.
There is empirical evidence.
What's the empirical evidence?
DNA.
Have you had a DNA test?
Yeah.
No, have you had a DNA test?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I can tell you're lying. Would I?
Look at this joker. This joke says he wants to smash me. Bring this Mustafa on.
Who wants to smash you? Where is he? Where is he?
Hamza, you could have me on and smash him on evolution.
Yeah,
This
there you go then.
joker.
All right, where is he? Yeah, come. Well, let's just put the link out there for you. Let's see if he can back up his mouth. There you go. So, who was it? What's his name?
Mustafa.
Mustafa. The link is there. Jump on, my friend. Oh, there you go. You're already here. Is that you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on. How you doing?
All right, go on, man.
Assalamualaikum.
Go on, smash him on evolution.
Yeah,
Smash
so
me, bro.
basically, I will. Nice to meet you. The blue.
You too,
Twins.
man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Did you say how old am I? How am I?
Said, how are you?
Oh, I was gonna say I'm good. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're misconstruing two things, right? Between evolution, as in the axiom being change, and Darwinian evolution. So I want to ask you, do you even know what Darwinian evolution means? Because when you gave the example of your dog, right? You're saying, look, there's change. Of course, there's change. Change is an axiom, but you don't know what Darwinian evolution is. That's when there's a gradual, step-by-step mutation, and then selection occurs. So what Hamza is asking you is to provide proof of this, which you haven't done.
I don't have to.
You have to, because you're saying it's a fact.
I don't have to. There's
Well,
so
then-
much
then-
evidence out there.
Which
So
is-
much empirical evidence.
Provide it.
There's literally museums full of it
Give me one.
everywhere. Not just
Give me
museums.
one.
It's everywhere.
Who's told you
That's
this?
like, imagine if
Who's
you
told
The
asked me-
evolution of the eye.
Which is-
There's just so
imagine
much
if you asked me-
evidence.
Imagine if you asked me for evidence of God and I said it's just this. It wouldn't make sense.
There-
Like, I'm
what
asking-
evidence?
Just
Of
give
it?
me one.
What evidence is there of God?
No, we will talk about that if you want, but we're
No,
talking
what
about
is there?
evolution right now. We will.
No, come on. What
But-
is there? What evidence
what-
is there of God?
Do you see how you're shifting now because you don't have any evidence?
What am I shifting, man?
I'm
Because you
asking
said
for
there's
evidence
so
of
much
Darwinian
evidence
evolution,
There
for
is.
Darwinian evolution.
which
Yeah.
is what's the
So
evidence?
what is it?
Gradual mutation. Where's the evidence for gradual mutation, step by step? That's the underlying principle of Darwinian evolution.
It's everywhere,
gradual,
man.
step by step. Have you read Dawkins'
It's
book?
everywhere.
Climbing
Have you been?
Mount
Do you know the
Everest?
Galapagos? Have you been to the Galapagos Islands?
I've not been to the Galapagos Islands, but I know about the finches, and I know in depth how the mutations occur. I know it's to do with variation of the mean. It's not to do with
So you-
Darwinian evolution.
So you don't think it's true?
What the
don't think
Galapagos,
it's a
the finches vary around the mean based on already existing genetic material. Yeah, that's true, but that's not Darwinian evolution. Do you even know what the finches? What happens to the finches?
The what?
Do you even know why the finches change or their beak sizes vary? There's a selection pressure, right? And there's an existing genetic material there that selects for a certain beak size, right? So this is not Darwinian evolution. The material is already there.
This is already
Darwinian evolution
anecdotal.
is when new material is built up gradually over the course of life, and new features come about via step-by-step mutation that are beneficial, just like with the formation of the eye, right? So you get light-sensing cells, then you get something more complex, and then eventually an eye, right? Like a trilobite eye, and then like a human eye. But where's the evidence of this? You can bring up the fossil record, but I don't think you understand that either.
No, he doesn't understand the fossil record because he doesn't understand
doesn't.
the Cambrian explosion.
Not only does he not understand the Cambrian explosion, he doesn't also understand that there's no step-by-step transitions in the fossil record. There's massive gaps of like thousands of genes.
There aren't because evolution
give me one
doesn't
transitional
happen
fossil.
like that.
Give me one.
Evolution doesn't
Now's
happen.
your chance.
Evolution
Now's your
doesn't-
chance.
it
Give me
doesn't work
one
like-
transitional fossil sequence.
It doesn't
Give me one.
work like that.
Right, just listen to his question, Paul.
There's no transition.
If there's no transition, then
want-
there's no Darwinian evolution.
But it's at a cellular level. You wouldn't see it between 1 and 1. You wouldn't see all of a sudden you go from a rat to a chimp. It just doesn't work like
Would it
that.
not go
It
from a
happens
rat
over
chimp?
hundreds of thousands
I
of
know
Would it
you
years.
go
won't.
to a rat chimp?
I know you
So-
won't. That's
Would it
That's
go to a rat
obviously-
chimp?
No,
No?
you would not see. No, there's no intermediate species. It doesn't work like that.
there has to be, because that's what
There has
Darwinian
to be.
evolution is.
No.
This is-
You're
Bro, Google Darwinian
oversimplifying. You're
evolution.
Here's the problem you've
oversimplifying a
got.
process.
Paul,
You're
Paul,
oversimplifying a process
Paul,
that takes
Paul.
hundreds of thousands of
here's
years.
the problem you've got right now. You're arguing with Charles Darwin.
I'm not arguing with Charles Darwin.
Well,
Okay,
Charles
if you want to
Darwin
have an
said-
argument about evolutionary biology, my suggestion is you get an evolutionary biologist.
Paul,
Okay, and have an argument with them
Paul,
about
no, you are
how
arguing-
evolution didn't occur,
Paul, you're
how
you
and
said you
how
knew
you
what
don't
you were
have
talking about.
how there's this. You're trying to
no,
talk
let
over
me
me.
explain.
Okay,
Paul.
so if you want to have
Paul.
if you want to have a
All right, I've just muted you. Paul, you're arguing against Charles Darwin because Charles Darwin says that if this occurs, this idea of these transitions, why are we not finding in the fossil records intermediary hybrid species? And he says for my theory to be true, in the future, we need to find not one, but millions of these fossil remains. And you're arguing against Charles Darwin saying, no, we don't. No, we don't. Paul, I'm going to let you go because I have to go pray soon as well. So I'll unmute you. The arena's from 9:30 till 12:30. He's left. All right, Mustafa, thanks for coming on, man.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. Assalamu alaikum.
Take care, dude. Assalamu alaikum.